Hey guys, good evening. So I thought I'll just do a live session. I've been getting quite a lot of queries about these two phones, the Mi A2 and the Honor Play. So I thought I'll be probably best to do a video about these two, live video. You guys can ask me your questions, so whatever valid question, whatever important question, and one that makes sense comes up on screen, I'll definitely answer them, and then we'll leave it in the video itself, and you guys can check it out later, and hopefully all your questions are answered. So hello, good evening to everyone. I'm doing good. How are you all doing? Hopefully this setup is okay. I'm actually in Kerala, and the reception here is quite poor. So I'm actually on top, on a rooftop, trying to get the best possible coverage I can to kind of stream this live. Even if I'm just uploading a video, it's kind of difficult to do anything from here. But hopefully this will be good enough to stream a video. So notification light, yes, there is. There is actually one that's hidden inside the earpiece over here. You'll see it at the uh, corner over here when it does actually come up. So the notification light is there. What other questions do you guys have? So let me just see what else is there. Honor Play is better. Um, well, it depends on what you want. I mean, both these phones are crazy good value for money at the price point, but one is perhaps more catered towards the performance, one is perhaps more catered towards sort of camera and the audio. Thermal throttling reduction is done on Honor Play. No, I don't see any throttling happening. Performance has been good so far. There's no issues with performance. Other than that, it's one second. Yes, I'm a Malayali. Note 8 new at 36,000. How's the deal? Note 8 is still a very good device. I would say it makes sense to get it at 38,000, provided that you're someone who looks to kind of make use of all the features of the Note 8. Uh, Meaning of RevAtlas, I've told this multiple times before, actually, in all our Ask RevAtlas videos. The meaning of RevAtlas is simple. It's actually an abbreviation for Review Atlas. And review, as you may know, is what we specialize in, be it smartphones, cars, whatever it is. That is what we specialize in, and that is the reason that we have chosen RevAtlas as a name. Review Atlas didn't seem as catchy as RevAtlas at the time, so we went with Review Atlas. Security updates, well, it's too early to say how it is on the Honor Play, but at the at the current moment, it's actually running the latest, if I remember right. Okay, so it's actually running July security patch, which is not bad. It's not a stock Android phone, so it has July security patch right now. And Amazon isn't showing Honor Play right now because it's actually sold out. Although it's not meant for a flash sale, it's an open sale. They don't have enough units, and even people from Huawei and Honor, they have actually told the same. They said that it actually might take some time to come back into stock. So the next sale, I believe, is on 16th or 12th or something like that. So whenever it comes back on stock, it'll come on Amazon. G7 think or OnePlus 6. I would go for OnePlus 6. GPU Turbo make the performance better. I haven't tried this with the GPU Turbo on and off because it comes with it by default, but I had it on my P20 Pro, and that actually makes a difference. Which performs better in terms of video? If you're asking between these two phones and their video capturing abilities, I would say the Mi A2 has better video from the rear camera, but this has 60 FPS video, and it also has front-facing camera EIS, which some may like. Best phone for 12,000 right now? That's actually a difficult question. I would say increase your budget a bit and go and get the Redmi Note 5 Pro. That's probably the best bet. Honor Play will get Android Q. Hard to say, but considering that Honor does support quite a lot of devices, even quite recently they have updated their Honor 8, which was 2 years ago. So I would say that there is a high chance that it would get it. Best camera phone under 20k, definitely the Mi A2. Note 5 Pro or Honor Play, which has better camera, it's Note 5 Pro. Mi A2 does have Qualcomm Quick Charge 4.0, but it doesn't come with such a charger in the box. You'll have to buy it separately, and it's actually very difficult to get a QC 4.0 charger at the moment, and even what's there is quite difficult. Please make a detailed review on Honor Play. We already have it. You can go into our videos, the uploads, and see the Honor Play review. We have a review, camera review, everything. Where A2 beats Honor Play, uh, it's actually in terms of the audio quality as well as the camera. So these two things might not be everything, but what it beats on a play, it beats it really, really well. There's no release date for the blue version of the Honor Play yet. It's probably gonna come sometime later this month, I guess, or maybe even beginning of next month. But as of now, there's no proper release date. I don't know if they're gonna launch the Mi 8 SE in India. A2 is actually a good device. It's kind of being hated upon for no reason. I do understand that many people like the expansion of memory. They like the audio jack, etc. But the removable audio jack is gonna happen sooner or later, and people have to go wireless or make use of dongles. But at least what's good is that they have an amplifier inside this, which is actually the same as the one you find on the Mi A1, and the quality is really, really good. Deepak, I actually did answer your question. Quick Charge 4, it does have it. Yes, the Indian unit does have Quick Charge 4.0, but the charger that comes in the box is a 5 volt 2 ampere charger, and you have to buy a separate charger in order to charge it at QC 4.0 speeds. When is 6 GB version coming? I'm not sure because they haven't released the availability day. They haven't given the price, so I still don't know when it's happening. Mi 2 was a Nokia 7 Plus, so I'll go right ahead and state this. We don't have a Nokia 7 Plus. We don't have it right now, otherwise, we would have done a comparison already. That's why you don't see any comparisons of Nokia 7 Plus off late. If we had it, we'd do it. Buying Redmi Note 5 Pro after 6 months still makes sense. Yeah, it's still a great value for money offering. That's kind of surprising, but it still does make a lot of sense if what you want is great battery quality, good camera setup and stuff like that. It still does make sense. How is camera compared to Note 5 Pro? What are you talking about? Which handset? How did Honor cut down the price so low? I think it's one of the main things where they changed the design language and made some changes is the design, the materials used. So if you see, this has a metal design, there's no glass. So glass, I think, would be costlier both in terms of manufacturing materials used as well as the process of manufacturing. Then you see that the camera setup is again not so great compared to some of the other offerings, such as the Mi A2. The audio quality is also not so great. So it's all these small things that they probably cut in terms of manufacturing, which doesn't really make a huge impact in terms of the end result, but nonetheless, it does make a difference in terms of the manufacturing cost. 660 or Kirin 970? Well, 970 is somewhere between the Snapdragon 835 and 845. So I would go for the 970 instead of the 660. And with the GPU turbo update, the gaming performance is also good. So I would prefer that. Portrait mode in both the phones, Mi A2 is still better. Poco phone, that's an interesting one. I'm not sure what the pricing would be, but yeah, 25,000 makes sense. Possibly even lower than that. If that happens, then the Honor Play would immediately have very stiff competition because there's a 6 GB version that costs 24,000 for the Honor Play, and the other version costs 20,000. So 20,000 might still get away with the competition in terms of A2, but when you have a Poco phone which is supposed to come with the 845 Snapdragon, I think it'll kind of have a lot of competition, and maybe people would prefer the Poco phone to that. Why is Mi A2 slower than the Note 5 Pro? So this is something that I actually was wondering myself when I was doing the speed test. So then I remembered back last year when the Mi A1 came out. Even that had RAM management issues at the time of the launch. That was kind of overcome with software updates. And considering that the Mi A2 is still in its early stages, we just got a software update now to the latest August security patch today, and that might increase some of the things. But because of things like optimization and stuff, there could be a chance that it gets slower than it should be, and it'll take some more time to go to its full potential. I got on a play navy blue at 18499 with SBA 10%. That's great. Congratulations on your new phone. Hope you enjoy it. Zenfone 5Z OnePlus 6, we have several comparisons for these two phones as well. It depends on what you want. RAM management on the Mi A2 currently, if you have seen our speed test, it's not so great. Honor Play camera compared to Note 5 Pro, again I'm mentioning it, it's not as good as the Note 5 Pro. Note 5 Pro is still better. Wait for the Nokia launch event if you're not finding it, You don't need to upgrade immediately, but if you do, then might as well go for whatever you feel is the current best device. But I always tell this: if you can wait, because there's so many devices being released in India, especially at the moment, and so much fierce competition happening that you might always get a better handset each and every month. In some cases, like I mentioned earlier, Note 5 Pro still remains one of the best, if not the best, under 15,000 rupees. But other than that, I think it's still a very good device, and if you can wait for it because something better might come. Redmi Note 5 Pro or Zenfone Pro M1 4GB. Note 5 Pro for me. 6GB, maybe 6GB depending on what you need, but the 4GB and 3GB don't really stand much of a chance against the Note 5 Pro. Does Honor reduce quality as compared to Huawei phones? I don't think they necessarily reduce the quality. It's mainly about the branding and the positioning of the devices themselves. So it's kind of like Realme and Oppo, what they did. So Realme one is very similar to the Oppo F7, only a few changes made. Quality remains the same, but you get it as a much more affordable price point. So the brand name itself carries value. It's like Apple and Samsung. So Huawei position themselves as a premium brand. As a result, the devices kind of have a premium over their Honor devices, and quality is more or less the same itself. I've not noticed a huge difference. 636 or 660 is simple. 660, it's definitely the better processor, but then again, it depends on what device you're looking at what price point. When will Note 5 Pro get MIUI 10? I'm not so sure about that. Honor 970 versus Snapdragon 710. How well is performance? So, the Snapdragon 710 is very rare right now. Mi 8 SE has it, and maybe one or two other devices, if at all. I haven't tried any of these devices in person, so I can't really, comment on it. Me to battery normal use, any idea? I've gotten maximum of 5 hours screen on time. It gives around 4.5 hours on most days, some days 4 hours, depending on the intensity of usage, whether brightness is on maximum all the time or whether you're using a lot of GPS and stuff like that. But overall, I would say it's average only in terms of the battery life. Display quality bad on A2. It's actually not horrible, but if you compare it to, say, the Honor Play, there is definitely a difference in terms of the quality and the size and stuff. So I'm gonna kind of try and see if I can make both of these into the maximum setting brightness so that you can see the difference. Okay, so obviously there's a difference in terms of the wallpaper, but if you see, the Play is actually slightly better in terms of visibility compared to the A2. So A2 kind of, I'm not sure how visible it is on this, but yeah, that's what happens. Honor Play screen protection. As far as I know, there's no protection on it. They don't mention Gorilla Glass anywhere on the product page, but we don't have confirmation. But I don't have any scratches. If you look at it, I don't have any scratches. Most of the time, I use without the case. Right now, there's a rough surface here, which is why I've put both of these in a case. But it actually hasn't gotten any scratches so far, which is quite impressive. Zenfone Max Pro 6 versus Mi A2. I got a gimbal, okay with no EIS on ASUS, SD card, 5000 mAh battery, so video quality of Zenfone Max Pro. Okay, so this is a really interesting question. You have a gimbal, which makes sense, so you don't need to care about EIS being there since the gimbal takes care of all the video stabilization for you. I would still go for A2. The reason being the A2 videos look much better than the Zenfone Max Pro videos, even on the 6GB variant. So it'll be better to go for the A2, switch on 4K video recording, and then shoot it in that. And that'll be good for YouTube as well. Mi 8 SE seems like a really good smartphone. We don't have it yet. I haven't tried it out, but it seems really good on paper. Should wait for Nokia X6 or not? Well, that depends on your use case and the urgency of getting a new smartphone. Charging time for me A2 1 hour 40 minutes with a fast charger. So I tried with a really fast charger, the MacBook charger. So that's, I think, the fastest you can get on the market in terms of a USB Type C thing, and that should more or less mimic the speed you would get from QC4 or there's what. So I got 1 hour 40 minutes of charging in that. UI does affect performance definitely. If the UI layer is very intensive, very heavy, it does affect the performance, and you will get slow down, you will get issues and stuff like that. But then, not necessary that it should be slower than stock Android, for example. Honor, Huawei, Xiaomi phones good for long-term usage, say 2, 3 years. Yeah, I think they are. I don't see why not, because they use good components, their phones do well. In fact, nowadays I feel that these brands do much better than brands such as Samsung, Sony, etc., who are overcharging you for what they actually offer. Samsung has phones with Snapdragon 450 at a price point where you are getting Honor Play for, the Kirin 970, which is like a Snapdragon 835 or in between 835 and 845. Battery issues in Honor Play? No battery issues, no heating issues so far. Amplifier on the Max Pro M1 is good. It's slightly better than the Note 5 Pro, but definitely not as good as the Mi A2. Camera main preference Zenfone 5Z or OnePlus 6. For photo, go for Zenfone 5Z. For video, go for OnePlus 6. Alright, guys, that's it. I think I will end the session here. Thanks so much for joining in. See you again next time. Take care.